The DJI Air 2S is a great drone in all departments. One of the very few limitations is the lack of lateral obstacle detection sensors. In this video I'm going to test the new APAS 4.0, the algorithm for Advanced Pilot Assistance System, for detection and avoidance of obstacles. I will also show how to use Active Track 4.0 for follow me situations, with the drone tracking me in autonomous mode. There will be a little bit of drama towards the end, so sensible souls are warned. Finger crossed, and let's get going. In a couple of weeks I will be filming the Etna Marathon, a big mountain bike race on Mount Etna. I'm not sure I will do it with the Air 2S or the Mavic 2 Pro, or probably both of them. Compared to the 2 Pro, the Air 2S has the big advantage of the excellent zoom capabilities, which are compatible with Action Track, therefore give me the possibility of shooting from farther away, thus avoiding obstacles while maintaining a good framing. The 2 Pro has omnidirectional sensors, and I know that I can perfectly trust him for the task. But the 2S doesn't have lateral sensors, so I want to put it under a stress test to see how it copes with all sorts of obstacles. There is a new upward sensor that faces slightly outwards and could partly detect lateral obstacles. With Air 2S in the past few months I've been doing a good amount of tracking, and so far in several situations the APAS system has worked really well and kept me out of trouble in several difficult situations. I have already published a video about Active Track with Air 2S. I will put a link at the end of this one. But this time I will try to track from a much closer range and see how the drone will behave. Before starting any tracking session, go to the setting and in the Safety tab specify the Obstacle Avoidance action. If we choose Brake, the aircraft, when detecting an obstacle nearby, will stop and hover in place. We choose instead Bypass. In this case, the APAS algorithm will analyze the shape of the obstacle and try to find his way around it. We also want to make sure that the option Disable Sideways Flight is not selected, as otherwise the drone will not be able to move around obstacles. When planning to track moving subjects, we also want to turn on subject scanning, so that people and vehicles will be recognized and a plus sign will be shown above them. All we need to do to select it is to tap on the sign. 3 icons will appear at the bottom of the screen to choose the intelligent flight mode required. In this case we select Action Track and then choose either Trace or Parallel and then hit Go. Remember that Active Tracks work at a resolution up to 4K and the frame rate up to 30 frames per second. So, ready for action. I am in a pine tree forest, and I set Active Track to Trace. The drone follows me, trying to maintain a constant distance. It detects and avoids the trees very easily. There are times where I see it going very fast towards one and I think, wow, it's going to crash. But no, it avoids them with very fast lateral moves. It also detects very well leafy branches. When it loses me behind a few trees, I can see that it is very reactive trying to find me, much more responsive than the Mavic Air 2. On a couple of occasions, while finding its way around some branches, it remained a few meters behind, but then very quickly comes back to the distance it had at the beginning. The Mavic Air 2 could track from a minimum altitude of about 2.5 meters, but luckily the Air 2S can go much lower, even less than a meter, and this is very useful when tracking people. Here I'm trying to set the drone to trace me, but I am too close. A minimum distance of about 5 meters is required between the aircraft and the target. As you can see here, it is tracking while facing me and moving backwards, which is obviously the most useful way. It keeps detecting and avoiding the tree very easily. Excellent performance, I'm impressed. Let's try now parallel mode. Here again I'm a bit too close to the aircraft. The same distance of about 4 to 5 meters is required. Once I'm far enough, it starts tracking me and then moves to a position where it's almost parallel to me. It is not exactly at 90 degrees, just a bit behind, probably to increase the ability of the sensor to catch lateral obstacles. Obviously I don't even need the remote controller, as in this mode the drone is tracking autonomously. Excellent. After we finish tracking, we can tap on the red stop button. But the app will still be in spotlight mode. To exit the intelligent flight modes altogether and resume normal flying, we can click on the small cross on the top left of the target, or hit the return to home button in the remote control. I also wanted to test parallel mode in the forest with plenty of trees, to check if the lack of lateral sensor would be an issue. As you can see, it is possible to switch from trace mode to parallel without stopping at the track. The drone waits for me to be at the minimum distance and then moves to the parallel position and tracks me from the side. But after a few seconds, bang! It crashes against a tree that is exactly at 90 degrees. First of all, let me tell you that no harm at all was done to the drone, not even a bruise. It just bounced back and was ready to fly again. Good boy. As you can see, we live dangerously, so a thumbs up is much appreciated. Analyzing the footage again, I noticed that just before the crash, he was flying exactly at 90 degrees to the target, while in most cases in the parallel mode he lags a little bit behind to open the angle of the obstacle sensor. In any case, if I have to shoot sports tracking from a close distance, I would certainly go for the Mavic 2 Pro, and I will use the Air 2S for shooting at an altitude higher than the surrounding obstacles, taking advantage of the zoom capabilities. What is your experience? Have you had any crashes with your drones? Let us know in the comment below. I also tried the drone flying around the forest without any tracking. As usual, it did very well, avoiding with ease tree trunks and leafy branches, even when flying slightly sideways. The only issue I had was with thin branches without leaves. The sensor seems to have a hard time identifying and avoiding wireless objects, so extra care is required with bare branches and probably also with electric lines. While trying to find his way around these bare branches, it finally ended up a second small crash. Even though the new APAS system is a big improvement compared to the one of the Mavic Air 2, and the upward sensor seems to detect most obstacles, even when they are placed at an angle, the lack of lateral sensors is certainly an issue. And this drone cannot compete with the Mavic 2 Pro or the Skydio 2 for tracking a close distance. Click on this link to watch my other video about how to track on the Air 2S, and hit the like button if you enjoyed this video.